What's up, gang? It's your boy Coach T with Chicago Bears 360. Back with another live recording for y'all. Let me fix my background here real fast. Listen, got a little bit hot yesterday. I was like, man, I really enjoyed the playbook sessions, really enjoyed what we did yesterday. So had an idea, man, since we had a chance to take a look at you know what I'm saying, the all 22 film from the Minnesota Vikings game. And I thought, you know what, just for funds, just for shits and giggles, man, let's take a look at how Sean Payton chose to attack this same Vikings defense in a same fashion, right? In a similar fashion, they defeated the Minnesota Vikings, I think by 1 point. Nonetheless, I want to take a look at the Minnesota versus Broncos tape, where the Broncos eked out a victory versus the Minnesota Vikings as well. But also specifically wanted to take a look at how Sean Payton chose to attack Brian Flores' blitz heavy defense. So y'all know the standard over on Chicago Bears 360, man. We're gonna get into it real fast, but y'all know Coach Boone got to speak his piece first.
We will be perfect in every aspect of the game. You drop a pass, you run a mile. You miss a blocking assignment, you run a mile. You fumble the football, and I will break my foot off in your John Brown hind parts. And then you will run a mile. Perfection. Let's go to work.
Let's go to work. Hey, listen, as you come in, do me a favor, like, subscribe if you're watching this on the playback. Be sure to subscribe to the channel, man, because guess what? I'm going to be doing more and more of these all 22 breakdowns coming up because you guys already let me know this is what you want to see based on your response in the chats, via the views, the likes, all that. So I'm liking the format. We're going to get to it. So let's go. Cue the intro, maestro.
Contra.
Life like chess, move to pieces, you know I roll in silence. On the road to them Benjis, I feel my teeth with diamonds. I'm high as fuck in the sky, you would've thought I'm pilot. I'm from Chicago, it get ugly, fill the streets with violence. Life like chess, move to pieces, you know I roll in silence.
Past, present, future. We bear down.
All right, guys, I want to make sure we good to go. Where, like I said before, we're going to jump straight into it. We're going to take a look at how the Denver Broncos chose to attack this same Minnesota Vikings team. Because again, we talk so much on the right on the football field. So why not, take one of those people out there that you look to for answers and see how you choose to attack it. So we know Brian Flores, what he does versus Minnesota Viking. And I'm only going to do probably about a half of football so you guys can get a feel. At least let's do the first 15 plays because typically this is your script. This is your script when you go to attack a team. So let's take a look at, how Sean Payton chose to attack Brian Flores. Also, I want you to pay attention to the amount of screens you see because part of the takes that come from the fans is, Luke Getsy, he runs a bunch of screens because he doesn't trust Justin Fields. Or, what one of the things we do is we give a lot of times these offensive coordinators the leeway because a lot of times the fans don't know how to break down their tape. They don't know how to look at the film and criticize or analyze the tape because we don't expect fans that haven't coached before, haven't designed plays. We don't expect them to know how play design should work, how fronts work, how protections work, how blocking schemes work, how motion shifts, all the nuances of football. We don't expect you to know that stuff. So a lot of times, we don't know how and when. Sorry, I'm adjusting my headset here so I can hear. We don't know how to critique a lot of these coordinators. So without further ado, man, let's get into it. I think I spoke enough or talked enough. This is the first drive, Denver versus Minnesota. Again, Denver won this game, I believe, by 1 point. similar fashion that we did. So, but again, let's look at how they chose to attach them. So attack them. So here it is. They're coming out in 11 personnel to start. Again, now I want to say this because I said in yesterday's video that 11 personnel is not what I prefer for um, our football team. I want y'all to let y'all know that's unique to our football team. It's not for every football team, right? It's team to team, it's personnel to personnel. I don't prefer that for our football team because we've suffered some injuries up front in offensive line, right? We still have some, we still somewhat of a new football team in terms of continuity and playing together, right? And so you have to be able to fully trust your offensive line, one, and also your running backs and tight ends and protection, right? But also for the style of the efficiency of your defense, right? If you have a good defense, then I feel comfortable with running um heavy personnel, which we got away with, right? We got away with heavy 11 personnel because our defense played well. And I guess Denver must trust their defense in this situation. So they're starting out 11 personnel. Let's get to it. 11 personnel. And y'all see what Brian Flores likes to do, right? One, two, three, four, five. 5 man up front, 5 man front, 8, 9, 10, 11. So I'm going to call this a single high safety. This is either going to be man coverage or cover three. This might be some coverage where this safety escapes to the back quarters back here, and they'll go like a cover six, cover eight, cover six, right? Where this guy has a quarter, this guy has a quarter, and this guy has a half, right? So half, quarters, right? That's either 6 or 8. Um, but yeah, either way, you're gonna come up. He's gonna give you some kind of single high look, right? And he's probably gonna walk people up for pressure to give you pressure, right? So, all right, they're backing out. You see the safeties backing out. I've taught you guys how to read coverages. The safeties are backing out. You have them kind of parallel across the back. And this is kind of giving me some kind of off man coverage, right? Every man is locked up, right? But it's going to be man a cover three most of the time with Brian Flores and him bringing pressure. But let's see how Denver chose to attack them here. All right, they're coming out with pass, right? We got 6 man protection at least, right? Let's run this back a little bit. Hopefully, y'all can see the screen a little bit lighter today. We got the tight end over here running back. How are they protecting this? First of all, when you start to design a play, the first rule of designing any football to play is figuring out how you're going to protect the play. What is your protection? Is it 5 man, 6 man, 7 man protection? And that protection should be in unison, in harmony with the wide receiver routes, the distance of the routes. When is the route breaking? Is it breaking at 5 yards? Is it breaking at 7 to 10 yards? Is it breaking at 10 to 12 yards? You know what I'm saying? You should, and that again, that's football team to football team, because guess what? You may have 5 studs up there that can protect 5 on 5, right? So you got 5 down linemen right here. Your guys up front may be able to go 5 on 5 and hold up in protection. But historically, the Chicago Bears haven't been able to do that. So that's going to be some of the nuance you see here. But let's see what they go with. Got a running back here, tight end here, definitely 11 personnel. Let's see what protection they go with first here. Protection versus man coverage. All right, so it's going to be a 6 man protection because the tight end releases right here. But you see, true to form, Brian Flores brings pressure. They slide, do what we call a rain call here, and they slide right, and they have the running backfield backfield to the weak side of the slid protection. This is a much more simpler protection scheme that I've seen from the Chicago Bears, where we go 3 by 2. So what we would do is we would slide 3 guys this way, bring 2 guys this way. And somebody asked a question when they watched our film on Twitter or X. They asked the question, how did Braxton Jones end up on a smaller blitzer, a nickel blitzer, and the running back end up on the defensive end? That's because our protections aren't as clean, right? This is nuances of football that you don't see, and this is something that just hit me just now when I watched that play. I think it was on CMC, Chicago Bears, something. I don't know what the channel is on Twitter. But he asked the question, right? How does Braxton Jones end up on this guy in our situation, and their running back ends up on the bigger guy, right? It's because they have protection rules to slot everybody to one side and have the running back field big side. That makes ensures you have big on big, and then you have the right type of person against the right type of person. Means in terms of body size and content and measurement, right? I like that protection plan better because it makes more practical sense. That's the first thing I'm discovering already, not even all the way completely through a play, right? And when you're looking at the anatomy of a play here, you got to get everything blocked up, which Denver seems to get ready to do. But I want to show y'all how this affects the wide receiver, the play overall. Because we're in six-man protection, just do the math real fast on how many receivers they have in the route concept versus the defender's numbers. Again, this is the chess match of football. You want to have as many people in the route concept, as many players in the route concept, right, to match or to overload the number of defenders you have defending a particular play. So here, Denver has one, two, three, four versus one, two, three, four, five. That's good. That's good, a good percentage because you can win some stuff there. But what'd be perfect is if they could go five-man protection right here and get this running back right here in the route concept, then it would be 5-on-5. So it becomes a match, a chess match of numbers, right? In these scenarios, in these situations, and you have to figure out what you can get away with in a particular game, in a particular series, or what have you, right? So here we go, right here. Again, a simple concept, but I want you to notice something already. They bring in pressure right here, but we already have a wide receiver that's broken down and prepared to receive the ball. This is something you don't really see in a lot of Luke Getsy concepts, right? Let me slow this down. Y'all bear with me. All right. Snap of the ball. Boom. He's already breaking down right here. I don't want to mean to miss that cursor right there, but he's already broken down and ready to receive the ball. That's because you got pressure coming. And that's what you do versus blitzes, right? So rather than run the screen, you see what Sean Payton is doing already. He's going to have some routes that run you off, and it's going to be a mix match. It's going to be a three-card Monty, if you will, of go routes and short concepts and short breaking routes. This guy breaking right here already. This guy right here is breaking already. Quick, easy ways to get the ball out, not running guys 10 and 15, 20 yards down the field versus a blitz heavy defense. He's already getting the guy open and letting them play ball. That's an easy 6-7 yard gain right there. First play. I know I talked a lot through even that first play, but I'm trying to set things up for you guys. And what do we got going on right here? All right. All right. Let's get back to it. Kick me out. All right. Second play. We're going to take our time here because we're going to probably do about 15 to 20 plays, but I want y'all to see the script. Again, he's in gun here, right? Tight end, two running backs, 22 personnel. Remember, I said ideally we want to be in 22 personnel. We want to be in 12, 13, 21, 22 personnel. And primarily, why are you doing this? These tight ends, first of all, are going to widen your defensive ends out by being in the formation. They're going to make these guys have to take their stance a little bit on the outside because they have to play contain, right? So these guys are going to be out a little bit from your tackles anyway. That's the first thing benefit you get from it. Now you can decide again, playing three-card money with your tight ends, you can decide which guys you're going to release into the pattern, right? Or if you're going to release them at all, right? If they're going to help out with pass protection because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 guys are on the line of scrimmage, right? Now, I'm expecting if you're going to have two tight ends in here and they're going to stay in the block, right? I'm expecting this to be a deep shot because you got 6 men on the line of scrimmage. You got two linebackers right here. That's 8, 9, 10. Again, single high safety. This has to be man coverage I'm going to try and take a shot. This is me just looking at the formation. I'm going to try and take a shot because I have so many men in the box. I have two tight ends right here, and I got two running backs to be able to block it up and max protection. I haven't seen this play, but without looking at it, I'm guessing I would try and take a shot if I'm Russ here. If we having these tight ends in a combination, tight ends and running back staying in. But let's check it out, see what they do. All right. So you got to clear out here. Again, another way. It's other ways to get the ball out. It's other ways to get out. You got to clear out route, swing route, big game. Look at Sean's script, and we still haven't seen the screenplay. Is it going to kick me out every play? Kick me back to the screen. All right, third play of the script. They already moved into the red zone after 2 or 3 plays, right? Already in the scoring range. Again, what's the personnel grouping? It's fullback, tight end, 2 running backs, 21 personnel. Check the personnel grouping. I just want y'all to see this because y'all, I don't want the, you know what I'm saying, the people that follow me to ever feel like, you know what I'm saying, I'm pulling the wool over your eyes. I talk about personnel all the time. Check the personnel. The last one was 22 personnel. This time 21 personnel. Maybe you don't always have to be under center, but at least the personnel grouping has to be right to give you an advantage. What are they going to do on this play right here? Inside run. Keep the chain moving. Personnel grouping. Again, we don't have to look at the coverages much back here because Brian is always going to give you single high safety look, heavy loading the line of scrimmage 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And remember what I said in yesterday's videos. It's always easier to block these guys in the run. You put them on the line of scrimmage, all you have to do is break one level. All you have to do is break one level. Look at all the open land and real estate back here. So if the running back somehow can get to a different level, get to the second level, it's going to be a touchdown. This is the benefit of playing against a heavy loaded defensive line front. Now, this is what I would probably do or implement in here as well. I'm going to implement some traps, right? So I'm pulling guards across the line of scrimmage because if you let this guy fly up the field and you catch him on a trap, you get to the second layer easy, right? A trap, maybe a power play, a counter play, something that easily gets you to the second level. Because again, after you break that first level, it's a track meet from there. All right, they take a sack right there. But let's break that down and see what happened and why this breaks down. Let's break down the anatomy of this play right here. He takes a sack right here. But let's see if he has those fundamental elements in the first pass that we described. Does he have it blocked up first? And then does he have quick developing routes available for his quarterback to throw the ball? So what's the protection? You got 6-man front. Do you have it blocked up? All right. Yeah, but somebody missed their assignment right there. It's 6 on 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on 6. Yep. They did a twist or stunt right there. And this is why 5-man protection doesn't really work that well, because you can have 5 on 5, but if they do a twist or a stunt or something, that throws, you know what I'm saying? It kind of, unless you're really good at it, it'll throw the numbers for a loop. That's why I always like to have an extra number in my favor, right? So if they're sending 4, I want 5. If they're sending 5, I want 6. If they're sending 6, I want 7. I always want to have an extra man right here. We end up in 6 on 6 right here. I don't like evens, me personally. Now, 6 on 6, this guy comes and swings and loops back around. And who's available? I guess Russ could have got this guy right here. He had this guy right here. He had this guy right here. But the progression was probably left to right. He maybe had this guy right here. And this is all for all the Justin Fields missed throws people out there. right? Let's look at the play right there. Let's take it back a frame, if you will, even. Let's take it back a frame and stop it. Boom. If the progression, he's looking left, it's probably a left to right read. Left, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? He's probably waiting on this guy to come open, but he has this guy right here. And again, for all the Justin Fields critics, right? What about anticipatory throws? Well, if Russell Wilson is throwing this ball, a Super Bowl winning quarterback, it's already out of his hand because this ball is breaking versus man coverage. If not, the two's open. If not, the three's open. If not, the four's open. Um, is it just Justin, or is it just a football thing? I'm here to tell you, I'm not making excuses for him. 13% of throws, 13% of pass plays, 13% of the portion of a pass play that results in an incompletion. So the math is this: 65 to 70% is the typical quarterback completion percentage. Where does the other 35 to 25% go? Right? 13% of that cut, 13% of that cut is missed throws. Historically, that's statistics. 13% of those throws are missed throws. And you just saw it right here from a Super Bowl winning quarterback, by the way. Here we go. What's the personnel group in here? Probably 11 personnel with a tight end right here. The running back shift, they still got him in single high safety. So I'm guessing man coverage again, man or cover 3. You know they're bringing pressure. So what are we doing? Now, Brian Flores either is going to bring pressure. He has like this bipolar sense of defensive play calling. It's either going to be pressure or he's going to send 3, drop 8, right? In this situation, it's 3rd and 15. So this might be an ideal situation where he says, I don't want to give up a touchdown. I'm going to send 3. I'll drop 8 and I'll force Russell to have to pick find out where the holes in his coverage is in between 8 people in the backfield, right? Here's the chess match of football, because if he sends only 3, now you have these 8 covering this territory versus how many people? 1, 2, 3, 4. 8 versus 4, you expect the defense to win. You expect the defense to win every time. It's just simple math, guys. Football, it's not that hard. Here we go. There you go. You got a 3-man rush versus 8. You got a guy locked up right here, a short route. You're not getting anybody deep. This guy's open. So we're going to take a look back and what happened with that. But Russell takes the check down, and Brian Flores does his job. He gets the defense off the field. At the end of the day, that's ultimately what you want to do. You'll give up the 3, but not the 7. It's chest over checkers. But let's take a look at this outside receiver and see, if Russell hangs in there, does he get the TD here? 1, is it blocked up? It should be. You got 3-man rush. You got 5 or 6. You got 5 versus 3. It's blocked up, right? You were supposed to win that every time. There's no excuse. Remember, I talked about the 1-up man rule, right? So they have 2 additional men versus 5-man rush. And these guys right here on the outside are going to be mostly worried about contain. That means keeping Russell inside the pocket. So this is some kind of zone coverage, because this guy is going to release him. He's going to release this wide receiver at some point and come off on this running back. Boom. He sees him release the ball. He comes off coverage. The safety has to get over the top. That guy is not missed. That does not qualify as a miss, right? That does not qualify as a miss. All right. See what I'm saying? So y'all see the first series and how Sean Payton chose to attack the same defense we just played. How many screens did you see? Just curious. Anybody see all the screens that Sean called? Anything that jumped out to you in that first series? I'm going to get to the comments. I'm going to go to the comment section in between plays and let me know what y'all seeing out there. You know what I'm saying? Let me know what y'all thinking, what y'all seeing. All right. Uh, Here we go. So guess he is outsmarting himself, or he only knows one way to coach. Not an easy question to answer. It's pretty simple to me. Who is that, Brian? Yeah, it's a simple answer. I think he only knows one way to coach. It's similar to what Nagy was doing, but worse. They know what happens is these coaches are coming up in a system and they become specialists in a system, and they don't have a diversity. The other thing that's part of the equation is experience. Experience at play calling. Experience not just at play calling, because play calling is only one third of offensive coordinators' responsibilities, right? There's installing an entire offense, right? Install, game planning, and play calling. Play calling is like the last part of your work. If you've done a great install, and what I believe in, for my philosophy on doing install is you install the core concepts early of your playbook, and you try to get the offensive unit to a certain place before you start the season that you feel comfortable starting the season, at that particular time that you feel comfortable starting the season, where you can attack all quadrants of the football field, right? Through the run and or pass or the screen game or whatever you have you, but you establish your core identity early on, and you ramp up your offense by adding more and more to your playbook every week as to keep everybody on the same sheet of pay, same page throughout the season, right? So you got 11 guys plus reserves that have to know the playbook. Everybody has to be doing the same thing at the same time, communicating the calls, the checks, all this other stuff. So I believe in installing your core playbook up front early on in the season and getting them to a place where you feel comfortable. And then what you do is every week you add a little bit more, right? And that comes through a number of ways. You're adding every a little bit every week, comes from a number of ways. It comes through uh watching the previous opponent and seeing how teams attacked, you know what I'm saying, the your next week's opponent. So you see what they got away with, and you see, okay, what do we have in our playbook that mirrors something the opponent that they played got away with, that had success with, and you say, okay, I have this concept in my playbook. I'm going to run that concept from my playbook. If you don't, then you go to your, you know what I'm saying? You go to your archive, you go to your repository, and you install something new to be able to give that look, right? Because you heard the saying all the time, it's a copycat league. That's what it is, right? So you watching film, you're saying, do I have that in my playbook? Yes or no? No, I install something new. If I do, take from what I already have and put it in the game plan. You take it, you create your practice script, right? You'll have a practice script of all the plays you think you can get away with. On in the NFL, it's probably Wednesday, right? In high school, it's Monday, right? You have your practice script and you have all your plays, and you begin to run it against the practice squad, right? And what you're doing with your practice script is you're going down the script, and if something works, because you have your defense giving the future opponents look, right? So you have the scout team running their look, and you go down your practice list, and whatever plays work, you say, I like that one, keep it, scratch it, keep it, scratch it. And that's how you come up with your game plan. So you start with day one versus their defensive looks, right? See what you can add, see what you need to take away from, come up with your practice script, and then you're going week by week, taking things away. And by game day or the night before game day, you and the quarterback, the offensive line coach, wide receiver coach, everybody should be on the same sheet of music about how you're looking to attack this particular team, and you should have a feel. You should really be sitting with your quarterback and be like, okay, I got our plays. Now here's the first 15 script. Does he know your first 15 script by heart? He should know the first 15 play script by heart. He should be able to say, hey, we're going here, we're going there, we're going this, we're going this. This is my reads on this play. He should be able to almost verbatim recite your first 15 play script by heart and be able to give you feedback on what he's comfortable with and what he's not comfortable with. Why? Why aren't you comfortable with this? blah blah blah. Is it something we can tweak into play to make you more comfortable? If not, if you're not at least 80%, it's a scratch. It's not even going in there. But I don't know to this level of detail. You know what I'm saying? I don't know that this guy does this thing to this level of detail. You know what I'm saying? I'm go back through these comments real fast so we can get to these other series. Brian Hendren up in the building. My boy Barry's media coat hanging out with us. More experienced OC, absolutely. Probably need to do this the other way, right? Because y'all comments are going the other way. What's up, Rock? My man Rock Davis in the building. Where goes one? Long time supporter. I appreciate y'all, Cornelius. Appreciate y'all for hanging out with me again, man. Y'all know this part of it. This is the part of it that I love. I love teaching. Um, I love the plays. I love the football part of it because, again, as I'm teaching, I'm learning. I like to see how they are attacking certain people. Brian has a statement here. So guess he's outsmarting himself. He knows with one way. I believe it's the latter, Brian. I believe he knows one way to coach. And it's he knows one style of football, which is the McCarthy 2010 style of football. It's not McVay. I'm telling you, it's not McVay. It's not Shanahan. He has like a McCarthy style. And I believe he knows that style. And I believe that combined with the fact that the playbook is kind of stale, along with the fact that he's inexperienced, is showing up on game day. Inexperienced at calling plays, installer, the whole gambit of what I just described to you guys. Game planning, install game planning, and calling plays, right? Because we got a saying in football and coaching, right? Anybody can call plays. Are you an offensive coordinator? Can you do the little orchestra, right? Can you orchestrate everything to work in concert, man? So let me stop boring y'all with talking and get back to these plays. Second drive, let's see of this script. So Sean Payton's first script got him 3 points. I think Russell missed a read. He missed the throw. That probably could have kept him ahead of the chains and he took a sack on that play right there. So remember talking about staying on schedule. If Russell makes that throw to the out or that quick hitch, he stays on schedule, takes a sack. It's not 3rd and 15. Remember, I told y'all in yesterday's tape, Brian Flores likes to get you off schedule with these blitzes, right? And get you in 3rd and 15. So if you make that 3rd and 4, you put Brian in conflict. Now he's in conflict. Now he's on the defensive, right? He can attack you when it's 3rd and 8, 3rd and 9, 3rd and 10. But when you put him in conflict in 3rd and 3, 3rd and 4, now he has to think, oh, they could run it for a first down or they could throw it. Now I have to prepare for first. I can't be as aggressive. So Brian, we'll call that, we got net points. They did what we did. They got 3 points, right? But go back to what I said yesterday's film work about going under center. Now this is universal. This is remember what I said yesterday in the film study when I went through our films about going under center. And everybody said, well, coach, why is it so important if he's here and not here and not here? Watch these linebackers have to these guys, everybody in this box have to honor the run when you're under center. They can't assume that you're gonna, you know what I'm saying, just do the fake mesh and throw the ball. They have to honor the run. Playing under center is hard to defend, man. It's just tougher to defend because you have to think about more things than just the pass game, right? So here it is playing big boy bully ball. And I also said we gotta go 12 and 13 personnel. Well, see what they're in right here. You got 1, 2, 3. Everybody else is in the box. You got 8 guys right here, minus the quarterback. That's 7. You got 2 tight ends. 1, 2. Yeah, you got 12, 13 personnel. It's 12 or 13 personnel. Big bully ball, man. And watch the results. I said you have to attack a blitzing team. Look at this. This is just all and offensive linemen love this, man. That's the other part, bro. Offensive linemen do not want to be in pass pro for 70% of your pass plays, 80% of your pass plays. Offensive linemen want to be getting down in their stance, firing off the rock, and punching people in the mouth because you know what I'm saying? That way they're not taking punches all game. They're not having defensive linemen and defense end teeing off on them the whole game, right? Here comes it. He comes out in double tights look right here, and it's kind of it's tights, right? Motion. I said this yesterday. I said, Luke, play closer to your tackles. Your formation should be closer to your tackles. Look at this guy right here. Look at this guy right here. Look at his distance from the tackle. Even look at this wide receiver's distance from the tackle right here. Look at this wide receivers from the tackle. When you go doubles and tight, what is the tight formation? Whether you're in doubles or trips, what does it do for you? It gives you all this real estate out here to work with. So not only do they have to worry about you beating them deep, they got to worry about you beating them to the outside, maybe even out and up, a double move. They have to worry about all this real estate now. And the thing about the NFL that's different from college and high school is the hash marks are closer together. The hash marks are closer together. So that gives you more real estate to work out here on the perimeter. And so again, this is what I'm saying about Luke Getsy. Instead of you throwing a screen to get to the perimeter, move your bodies inside closer, tighter to the closer, tighter to the tackles. Now work work the perimeter with real routes, outs, slants, digs, pick routes, rub routes. There's a number of combinations that you can run right here. You know what I'm saying? To work the perimeter instead of throwing a damn screen, right? It's I said this yesterday and it's crazy. I didn't see this ahead of time um to be able to know they did this, but it's just competent coaching 101. Now, if I'm a guest, they're gonna use this formation and work this perimeter, either side. They're checking out of something right here. They're checking out of something. Too easy, bro. Stealing. See what I'm looking at? Stealing. It's stealing. That was the fullback right here who got it snuck out into the flats right there. Oh, shoot. What am I doing? That was your fullback that snuck out to the flats right there. It's just common sense. You gotta have experience. You gotta think about it. He's checking into something real easy right here. But my guess again, like I said, that's exactly what they did. They just got a simple this guy right here out to the flats. He's not pretending to block, I don't believe. He's just going straight out there. Boom. Got him in man coverage. Him versus him. How many yards is that? This is the week before our game. I didn't see this play when we played them. This is the week before we played them. This is the week before. So is Luke not watching the previous opponent's film? This is 101 of coaching. I would have saw that and put it in my playbook for that week. I would have had that in our playbook. Is Luke not watching the film of the previous opponents and taking their plays? Either he's watching and saying, I don't have that installed, or he's just refusing to do it. But if we didn't see that play and I don't remember seeing it, it's negligence. Here we go. 11 personnel. Is that 11? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I know we got doubles. Yeah, I didn't like that play from the start. See, this is what our offense looks like. Y'all gonna see. Does this not what our offense look like and feel like? I didn't like this formation from the start, right? I like what they just did where they were doubles tight. So it's the same formation essentially, but they go into regular alignments, right? No, move these guys in closer to your tackles and work the perimeter or go double move. You can go out and ups There's so many things you can do from you can go mesh. You can have these guys crossing each other. This guy and that guy, this guy and this guy can be crossing each other, and you can create a lot of confusion by moving these guys closer. You almost got to play this like you play goal line offense. You got to move everything in tighter to the tackles and use the entire width of the field, which is 53 and one third yards wide. For those that didn't know that, 53 and one third wide width of the field, and work the outside, work the inside. I don't like this because already, what is your protection here? You're going to go 5-man protection, 6-man protection. If they send bodies, it's just going to make it hard. All right, they're sending 5. It's 5-on-5 now. I don't like it. But go back. Let's go back. Because I want y'all to see, does this not feel like one of our plays, a Justin play? This is what Luke Getsy, this is what Luke Getsy play feels like. It just feels like a fire drill, as I believe Dan Orlovsky called it. It just feels like a fire drill. Feel this play. Nope, he's covered. Let me just scramble around. I got to find something. And because I'm an athlete, because I'm an athlete, make something happen. That feels so like a Chicago Luke Getsy play right there. That would have been something Luke did. All right, we punting right here. I'm coming back to y'all. I'm coming back to y'all, man. That was funny. That last play was funny to me. I don't know if y'all got a chuckle out of it, but it was funny to me. Anyway, man, love hanging out with y'all. Appreciate y'all. This Coach T, man. Do me a favor. Do me a favor, man. Run them likes up, man. Y'all did a great job on yesterday's video. It let me know y'all don't like seeing me try to be entertainment. Y'all here for the X's and O's because yesterday's video went crazy. So do me a favor. If you're watching this on the playback, you're watching the all 22, and we're comparing. We're actually looking at Denver, Sean Payton, a Super Bowl winning quarterback, offensive coordinator, head coach, versus the same opponent we just played, to compare and contrast, right? And I just said this. It is a norm for coaches to get the tape from a previous opponent and look at the tape and see what the previous opponent was successful at, and trying to see what's in your playbook to mirror that is part of your game plan coming up. And some of these looks already in the first 2 series, we're already seeing. We didn't see some of this stuff versus the Vikings when we played it, right? So I want y'all to be able to see the difference between experience and inexperience at that coaching position. It's crazy to me, right? But I can even look at the playbook and see that there's a. Remember, I always tell you guys that it's about telling a story. As a play caller, as an offensive coordinator, it's about telling a story. I can tell what Sean is trying to do here. At least I can see how he's trying to compromise this blitz heavy blind Brian Flores pressure attack defense, right? I can tell the story. I can pick up on the story that he's trying to tell, as opposed to when our coordinator does it. It's crazy to me. Rock Davis says, Coach T, that's like why Luke loved to run a quick release so he can get onto the next play, because he don't know how to stack plays, how to adjust, how to counter, how to do the adjustments. Yeah. It's just like, bro, you know what I'm saying? It's like, oh man, it's just like calling the next thing on the sheet. It's no feel. You know what I'm saying? It's no feel. You ever had somebody sing like a popular song, right? They sing a popular song, but it don't have any feel to it. It's just like saying the words, right? It's just saying the words, but they sing a song without experience. You have somebody heard somebody sing a love song, but they don't have any experience. It's a heartbreak song, but they have no experience in heartbreak. Like, it doesn't hit the same. And that's what these plays feel like. It's just like you're out here just calling stuff, bro. It's crazy to me. It's crazy to me. I want people to see it. I want people to be able to recognize it. I want people to know it. So when you argue with Bears Twitter or whatever, man, um, you know you have things to work with, right? Um, 1717, my boy, he asked a good question. He said, how do we attack the Detroit Lions? And I'm gonna check the time after I get through this next drive. If not, I'm gonna get through this next drive with Sean, and I might jump into that for you 117 because guess what? The film is there. The film is there. How should he attack Detroit? Um, he should go. I'm gonna tell you off rip. He should go and look how Green Bay attacked him. I know that's a blasphemous to some of y'all, but go and look because that's all Green Bay did when they beat them. All Green Bay did when they beat Detroit the week after we did. That's why my hot take. I was so confident in that take because I said, listen, Matt Eberflus gave Green Bay the blueprint to start a hard time for Jared Goff because Jared Goff is struggling with cover two zone. He was struggling. Matt Eberflus had Ben Johnson's number that whole game. He had his number the entire game. If we could have found a way to stop the run, which is the only thing that let Ben Johnson out of jail, out of Matt Eberflus prison, if we could have found a way to stop David Montgomery and Jabril Gibbs that game, Matt Eberflus would have made Ben Johnson look silly, and nobody would have wanted him for as a head coach or a coordinator in Chicago because he really out chess matched them for 3.5 quarters. And that's what he has to do. We have to go back. One, we have to go back and watch our own tape versus Detroit 2 weeks ago, but also go and watch the Detroit versus Green Bay game and see the plays that they were successful at and attack them in that same fashion. Attack them in that same fashion. It's not, bro. I promise you, bro. It's not that hard. We make coaching. It's coaching is not hard. You make it hard when you overthinking it. I'm gonna tell you what makes coaching hard. Coaching is hard when you don't have a foundational philosophy in what you believe in philosophically, what you believe in. You don't have a breadth of experience, meaning you don't understand the fundamental whys of football, meaning things like this. Football is played with 11 men on both sides of the ball. The game was designed to with 11 men to keep the field unbalanced or off balance at all times, meaning you can only have 6 men on one side of the ball and 5 men on the ball. Now, there's with that comes strength of formations, right? Let me draw something up for y'all. I'm gonna let y'all know what I'm talking about. We having a moment right here. We having a moment right here. I'm gonna draw something up for y'all so y'all can really enjoy and get what I'm trying to say right here, right? Let's see. Let's do another share screen. I really want y'all to get this because this helps you like really it's so simple, but it's so complex when it comes to football, right? That it goes over a lot of people's heads. Like they don't really a lot of times pay attention to these aspects of it, right? All right, where's my playbook, man? All right, let's go. Here we go. Oh, wrong one. All right, let me share this. Y'all rocking with me? All right, here we go. I'm gonna show y'all something very simple in why football is such a great game from a schematic standpoint. Right? You move some of this stuff off the chart. This is what makes it a game of strategy and chess from the rip. They designed the game to be strategic, not tactical. Meaning tactical is just play calling. Strategic is I want to always put put the other side in a position of compromise. I got this big old cursor going on right here because I was trying to do that for y'all. All right, I'm gonna show y'all why this is like in a very basic thing, and why that you make this a strategic game, not a tactical game. Tactical is just play call. Oh, I'm just gonna run something. I don't care. I don't care what it is. I don't care what it is I call. I'm just gonna call a play, and regardless of what I'm doing, it doesn't matter. I'm just gonna force my style on the defense. I'm gonna force a round peg into a square hole, a square peg in a round hole, however that saying goes, right? But here's the fundamental of why this works. Why you make football a strategy, a game of strategy. Now, you got 11 men on each side of the ball. You got 11 men on each side of the ball. Because it's 11, I can never balance a formation where it's even. The field is even. I'm always going to have 6 men. Say, if you're looking from the offensive perspective, you're always going to have 6 men on one side and 5 men on the other, right? So, whatever formation I get in, it doesn't matter. I'm always going to have, you know what I'm saying? Unless you really, now, this is where you really trick people up, is where you really balance the formation, right? And you try to balance up the formation. Some of the toughest adjustments are to balance formation. That formation right there is probably as balanced as you can get. You get 2 tight ends or 2 wide receivers, right? This is about as balanced you can get, right? Where the field is even, right? But anytime I imbalance the formation, imbalance the field, say I just put a fullback right here, 21 personnel, fullback behind the guard. Where's the strength of the formation right now? Right? The strength of the formation is to my left, the defense is right. The defense has to adjust to just that one move. This is what makes it chess and not checkers. The defense has to adjust to that one move because guess what? The defense's responsibility is a guy has to have this gap, a guy has to have this gap. Every gap has to be accounted for, right? I can't, it won't let me move. There you go. Every gap has to be accounted for. Y'all see where I'm going with this? So just by moving a fullback from this side to right here, the defense gives out a strength call. And they have to adjust their formation to make sure the gaps are accounted for. So when you see on when you're watching the game live and you see a quarterback make a check call, a can call, and they adjust and they move the formation, and you see a linebacker back there yelling for the defensive line to scoot over to the left or the right, what the linebackers are doing is adjusting the defense's alignment to the formation to make sure every gap is accounted for, right? Because if you don't account for every gap, oh crap. If you don't account for every gap, guess what? If you don't account for every gap, it's more than likely somebody's going to run a running back and run off in that gap, run through that gap, and hit his head on the goalpost. That's basic football, right? Now, what makes it cool is, say for example, the defense shifts the formation over to the strength, over to my strength to account for every gap. They move the nose over one position. They move the nose, so he has this gap, he has this gap, he has this gap, he has contained. What makes it cool is they're shifting the whole defense over, right? So this guy would come over. This backer is either going to be head up or just on outside eye of the tackle right here. But guess what? He has contained on the backside right here. I'm going to move this guy over. He's going to have this gap. He's going to have this gap. Every gap is accounted for. What makes football cool is this. I can decide if I'm going to attack right into this gap. Where's my arrows at? This might be a little bit more than what y'all wanted, but y'all going to get it today. Boom. I can decide if I want to attack the strength of the formation because y'all just soft, y'all some punks, or I can decide I'm going to get fancy and I'm going to counter. That's why the play is called counter. I'm a counter, pull a guard to the opposite end, to the opposite of the strength. I'm going to pull a guard to the opposite of your numbers. And I'm a jab step. And instead of me running in here, shoot, what am I messing up? And instead of me running up in here, I'm a jab step and follow that pulling guard up through the hole. Boom. So I'm gonna take one step out here, get everybody flowing opposite of the way I'm really trying to run, and pull this guard up in the hole. And guess what? I'm gonna give myself a numbers advantage because I'm pulling the guard from the strength to the weakness side. That's called counterplay. It's a basic counterplay. Football 101, man. But the numbers is what makes it manipulating the numbers is what makes it cool. So that's what it's what makes it a game of strategy. So they're not just doing all these formations to be fancy and cool. Yeah, if I want to, if I got a team that's good at something and I want to take it away from it, I'm gonna go out here and go trips, right? I'm gonna go trips. If I got a team that likes to play too high safety all the time, right? They like to play too high safety. They confident. They got a really good front seven, and they like to play too high safety behind that front seven. Then guess what? I'm gonna get them out of that. I'm gonna do what I got. I'm gonna adjust the formation to get you out of that. Because how do you account for this trips out here? You're not leaving a single corner out here like this. Somebody has to come out of here. There's probably going to be a nickel back, so they're going to adjust this guy, bring in somebody off the bench. They're going to bring in a nickel, make that guy a nickel, and if they zone him up, he's going to be here. And how do you get him out that's too high safety? They're going to have to rotate this safety over the top to bracket this. Bracket, bracket, bracket. Right? 3-on-3. Plus, you got this backer right here. You can move this guy in a little bit. So now, if you add him in and you go wide, it's 3. It's all about numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4 versus 3. But guess what they got to do with this guy? They're going to have to move him over and rotate him over a little bit. So where am I going to attack? I'm going to let this guy get busy on the backside. This should be DJ. This should be DJ on the backside, getting work. Because guess what? I forced him out of too high safety by going trips. The formation is about manipulating the number. It's all about manipulating numbers, right? That's as basic as I can. I mean, advanced at the same time, but basic as I can. Like this is the cool part. This is what makes it fun. This is where we get our football nerd rocks off as coaches, man. So yeah, that's what I'm looking at. So I'm gonna get back to the question that was asked. James said, "Do you think Detroit?" Let me get your comment up here on the board, and I'm gonna get y'all out of here. What time is? How long we been on here? Coach, do you think Detroit will look at how Minnesota plays us and try to use that? There's a very good chance because I mean to answer your question, a very simple way is do you think Minnesota was successful? Um, do you think Minnesota was successful versus our offense at anything across the board? And that'll answer your question. I'm not trying to be smart, but I'm trying to simplify it for you. That's what you do. Like you say, hey man, you know what I'm saying? Were they successful at anything? Did they make them look bad? Okay, let me go steal some of the stuff that maybe I need to do. Maybe I do need to dial up some more pressure. Maybe, Justin carved us up, right, in the pass game, which he didn't. I mean, he had a good game, 169 yards, but it was more. I felt like if Luke was more experienced, we could have carved that secondary up because Detroit doesn't have a very good secondary. So, to your point, yes. I mean, in short answer, yes. Because if Allen, forget his last name, the coach at Detroit, if he brings more people to the line of scrimmage to just create more havoc and chaos for Luke, and Luke is not able to handle it, that's the chess match. Absolutely chess match. You bring more pressure, as long as everybody can maintain their gaps in their blitzing and Detroit, then why not? Again, the chess match becomes, Luke, what did you learn week to week? What did you learn from the Minnesota game? Do you understand that you can attack the pressure through the run? Because let's go. I'm you know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to bore y'all, but I want to go back to this, right? Go back to what I showed y'all about this right here. 101. Football 101. If you don't, let's put this back in a simple pro or run formation. If you don't account for the gaps, let's go. Let's go pro right eye, pro left eye, Y off. I'm not even calling formations today. This is my pro left eye, Y off. Little known thing, how many men have to be in the backfield on any given football play? That's a bonus quiz question for y'all. You can Google it if you want. I'll give you credit for the answer, even if you Google it. How many offensive players can be in the backfield in any formation? I gave y'all the answer right here on the board. But back to your point, the point I was trying to make before I came back to the playbook. If they bring multiple people down in the box, right? If Detroit decides to try to get away with what Brian Flores does, here's the risk. And I think I showed y'all this during the playback, during the tape. Here's the risk. The risk is this. You better account and you better not get knocked out of your gap. Not one. A running back only needs about what's the saying? Only needs about 12 inches of daylight. 12 to 24 inches of daylight. If any of these guys if you're going to line them up on the line of scrimmage, everybody has to have a gap still. You still have to maintain gap discipline. Meaning, if they start running downstream and this guy gets behind, this backer gets behind this nose and vacate this gap, I'm going to hit my head on the goalpost, right? So no matter what the formation is, but will Luke learn, or does Luke know, hey, I can attack their blitzing formations. Find a fish and attack them. Find a fish and run right at them. That's all you have to do. Find whoever the weakest link is. And Minnesota had a notoriously weak middle of they defense. But versus Detroit, find a fish and run at them. Aiden Hutchinson's a very good edge rusher, but I think he's a little bit light in the ass. So why not go off tackle and run right at him? Make him play the run. Make him play the run. Make him play the run all night long and see what he has. See if he really got the chops to hang in there with a Braxton Jones or, God forbid, a Darnell Wright for 4 quarters getting punched in the mouth. That's what he needs to find out for himself. So, yeah, watch the tape. Will Detroit pick up on some of what Brian did? Absolutely. Experienced coach is going to do it. The question is our coach going to look at the tape and what Green Bay got away with and what we got away with in the previous game? See, here's the thing that I know about Getsy from watching him for almost 2 years now. I know he's going to use his stuff. He's going to watch his film and use the stuff that worked against in the game that worked where we played them tough. I still didn't like the game plan, even though we played them tough, because Justin was still working too hard. He was still responsible for too much of the offense in that game. He needs to run the ball and balance the offense out. Running the ball, Justin throwing, Justin running, tight end catches, wide receivers catches. Like, everybody needs to have a share. In the Minnesota game, Justin accounted for 80% of the offense. 80% of the offense was on Justin. So he needs to take that. He needs to take that Green Bay film and say, okay, what did Green Bay do? How did Matt LaFleur choose to attack this? How did Sean Payton? Like, it doesn't, bro. That's a known thing. You grab 2 pieces of game. You got a whole staff. It's not like you got to do it yourself. That's the other part. It's not like you have to do it yourself. You got a whole staff that you can be like, hey, man, you take the Green Bay game. You take the whatever the game was before that. Y'all meet me on Wednesday. You bring your film. You bring your film. You got to empower your coaches. You bring me your top. You bring me 15 plays. You bring me 15 plays. Let's talk about them. I'm going to match those 15 plays or I'll mesh them, come up with 7 plays at least. We'll see what we have in our playbook that matches that, and we'll install it this week for the game plan for Detroit. We'll rep it. We'll see if it works in practice, right? Versus their defensive looks. If we like it, we keep it, like I described earlier. If we don't, we scrap it. It's it's not that hard, man. So I don't know what the dude is doing, man. I'm just being honest with you. But I don't know, man. I don't know. So you know what I'm saying? When I come up with my takes, this is what I'm looking at. And I try to I would love to do get a dude credit and be like, hey man, we on our way. But I'm gonna tell you this straight up. We've had 12, I would have said 14 games into the season. I would have gave Luke 14 games to say, here it is. I understand your inexperience as a play caller, game plan, all that stuff. You got 14 weeks to figure it out. After these 14 weeks, so after this game coming up is week 13, bro, you got to win this game. And it can't be because the defense won it for you. You have to schematically win a game. And this game is extra important because schematically, you had a good game versus Detroit the first game. It wasn't a great game plan. Justin accounted for a lot of that, but you still had a good game versus them the last time. So here's your opportunity. Get over the hump and schematically win a game for the Bears. Not because it's the defense, not because it's special team, where we get to walk away from the game and say, bro, Luke was in his bag. Because I came that close to doing it versus Detroit 2 weeks ago. I came this close to saying, man, Luke, I was ready to come on the channel and be like, guys, Luke has found something. And I'm a big fan of that. I'm a big fan of growth. I don't like throwing people away and saying firing people and all this other stuff. I'm a big fan of growth. I would love to be able to come on here and be like, man, y'all, hey, I know y'all not going to believe me, but I think Luke has found something. I would love to be able to do that. And I thought I was going to be able to do that after the Detroit game. I was on the road. I actually went to the game. I thought I was going to be able to come on and be like, guys, guess what? I think Luke is self-actualized as an offensive coordinator, but can't do that yet, man. Can't do that yet. So that was the purpose of this show, man. I just wanted y'all to see how Sean Payton chose to attack that. I didn't show the entire game, but I don't remember. There might have been 1 or 2 screen calls Sean made the whole game. That's the punchline. The punchline is Sean Payton called maybe 1 or 2 screens the entire game in effort to beat the same team we just beat with somewhere between 14 and 17 screens. Sean used 2 or 3. That's the punchline of this whole show. So thanks for hanging out with me, man. I'm enjoying this. I don't know, man. This might be a everyday after work thing. I know y'all not used to this is my office. This is my work office for my job. So I know y'all not used to the digs here, but the internet connection is so fire up here. I can do my playbook. I can do film breakdown. So I'm gonna have to work out something with this whole studio situation because the studio downstairs, man, the internet is trash and I cannot, you know what I'm saying? The signal is bad down there. So I just, it is what it is, man. But I appreciate y'all hanging out. I'm enjoying this setup. I'm enjoying a new platform. I'm enjoying you all. Listen, if you're watching this on the playback and you like all 22 breakdowns, you want to enjoy the tribe, man, please tap in. I need y'all support, man. I need y'all support. What makes it worth it, what makes it worth any content creator's time to do this is the likes and the subscriptions, right? And I want to let y'all in on something. I don't even have my channel monetized at right now. The only payment for our times is likes and subscription. And that's not because I can't. I just don't have it right now. I'm doing it for the love of football. And because I love the Bears, because I love football, and I like getting the right takes and the right information out there. So we don't have to rely on so much conjecture, man. No shout to nobody else or anything like that. I realize we need entertainment shows, we need technical shows, we need comedic shows, we need a combination of all of them, all that. We need no face, no, what I'm saying, podcast, the classic style where you're not even on camera. We need all that stuff right there. There's a little bit a real estate out there for everybody, but for me, what makes it worth it if you actually subscribe and like and comment, and I respond to every comment. I promise you I do. You get in the comments, man, and so we can get the word out, man. We can get the national media is not even talking about Luke Getsy, right? Like they were Matt Canada. How? And the dude ran 15 screens. That's crazy to me. Anyway, man, like I said, man, I appreciate y'all for hanging out with me. Time to go get some dinner or something, man. Go hang out with the wife. But you never know, man. I might be back on here tomorrow. If I can think of something to watch film about, I might be on here tomorrow. So if I'm going to get on here, it's going to be between around 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 3 p.m. Central. This is why y'all need to have y'all alerts on too, because you never know when I'm going to pop in. But anyway, man, until then, man, it's always beers up, blunts up, whatever your vice of choice, head up. Oh, that's a good one. I'm gonna add that one. Whatever your vice of choice is, it can be beers, it's blunts. More importantly, keep your head up and bear down. I'll see y'all next time.